Mga kapugad, ako po si 𝗲𝘂𝗴𝗱 ng Pugad Vloggers. Ume-ere kami kada Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 7 hanggang alas 8 ng gabi sa Radyo Bandido TV simulcast on DZRJ 8:10 AM, on Sky Cable Channel 224, TV Plus boxes, and on free-to-air TV. Also on facebook.com/DZRJ 8:10 AM and our official YouTube channel.
Pugad Vloggers, ang kurap titirisin, salot sa bayan wawalisin, walang sasantuhin, ang saya-saya nakakabaliw, kasama natin ang tropang Pugad Vloggers. Pugad Vloggers.
Ayan, magandang gabi, mga kababayan ko. magandang gabi po. Andito na naman si Tentay, andito rin si Prof. Van, andito rin, ano yun, wala siyang apelido. Andito rin si Sas Rogando Sasot. Ayan, magandang gabi po sa aming mga regular na kapugad, sa aking mga kulto, sa mga naglalaway kay Prof. Van, at sa lahat ng mga obsessed kay Sas. Good evening!
Hello, magandang gabi, good evening sa lahat ng galit sa akin na isang American colony traitor. What would your life be without me, di ba? Okay, let's go, let's proceed, no? Umpisahan na to dahil kaunti lang ang oras natin. O, ano bang unang topic?
Oo nga. Prof. Van, magbumati ka muna sa mga ano mo, sa mga obsessed din sa'yo.
Hindi na ano ko na ano tawag nito. Na ano ko dito, hindi na ako makapagsalita dahil unti-unti ako natutunaw kanina sa pangaral ni kapatid na ano ba 'yan, yung nandun. So,
Ako rin.
Sa lahat ng mga katulad natin, no?
Oo nga eh. Medyo ano nga eh, nalulungkot nga ako para sa kanya kasi tayo yung kasunod niya. Anyway. So ayun, 'di ba? Ang topic namin last week kasi Sas, tukol doon sa alitan nga, no? At naging full-blown na giyera na dito sa Palestine at sa Israel, no? And Prof, doon sa huling part ng pinag-uusapan natin, we were about to put the past into the present, no? Pero before we do that, medyo nagkasemplang ng konti dahil meron tayong isang ambassador na medyo reckless naman masyado yung pagkakasabi niya. And it was a tweet that circulated pero he immediately deleted, and then nagpalabas siya bigla ng disclaimer na yun daw ay sarcasm lang in response to one comment, no, or one tweet. I hate asking this. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, American colony traitor.
Well, Teddy Boy Locsin is already 74 years old, no? I think let's just blame this to maybe, I don't know, early onset dementia or whatever. Alam, kasi, my God, you know, kahit siguro ako, no, napakabungangera ko at napakabarubala ng bibig ko, I wouldn't even dare to say something like that. Even to my worst enemies. So, diba, na parang, well, I hope this is a sign of dementia because that's, mas ma-accept ko yan, no? Kaysa naman na he wrote this tweet with full rational capacity.
Yeah.
Mas malala.
Whether or not totoo na yung ang kanyang excuse ay hindi naman niya sinabi dementia, girl. Yan. Sinabi lang niya it was just sarcasm. However,
because if you have dementia, you wouldn't even know that you have dementia. Kaya nga dapat magpatigin ka na. If you are writing tweets like this, yes. Parang, dude, parang you're the ambassador of the Philippines to the UK.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ano
Oo.
yun?
And yung
Those-
ano doon, may mga nakausap ako at ang sabi sa akin talaga, I mean, it is indeed disgusting, ano? Not to mention, of course, doon sa mga hindi po nakakaalam kung ano yung pinag-uusapan namin, pagpasensyahan nyo na po ako or kaming tatlo because none of us would want to repeat what was tweeted. Paki-google nyo na lang siguro because it is really, really, really disgusting to repeat those words verbatim. It is not going to be
Well,
pronounced here kung ano man yon because it's just grotesque for me, Papi. Pasensya ka na, mahilig ako sa
Hindi,
bata, may apo
even
ako.
even na sa sarcastic remark, sobra siya eh. Sobra. Kasi number
True.
one, may children, alam mo yon, may children. Pagkatapos, you're talking about a very explosive issue, di ba, no? So,
Correct.
hindi siya hindi siya appropriate, alam mo yon, kahit na, no? Now, kung ang pinag-uusapan natin, for example, ay kung halimbawa ang binanggit niya ay mga terrorists, mga ganon, alam mo yon, ano, o kaya mga drug pushers, yung mga ganyan.
Hindi
Yung word na ginamit niya, I mean, baka magpalakpakan pa yung mga tao, alam mo yun, pag sinabi. Pero you don't put those two words together, ano, yung children
Yes.
at saka yung ibang word na ginamit
Yung
niya.
word na yun, yeah.
Oo. Nakat-mute ka.
Sas, nakamute ka, darling.
Minute
Saka
ka na ng
Muslim. Sinabi niya, they are Muslims.
Oo.
I
Saka yan.
think, no, it's one thing to say na eliminate Hamas,
Yeah.
but it is another thing to say to
Yeah.
to emirate Palestinian children
Yeah.
and then say they are Muslims and
Yeah.
etc. And
Nag-expound pa kasi. Nag-expound pa
yeah.
siya because of what
So-
they're going to grow up to be. So medyo talagang
well, if this happens in other countries that have decent people, this ambassador would have already resigned and or would have
Indeed.
already been removed by the president. But hashtag may president pa ba? Anyway, so come on. I have to call a spade, no? Nung panahon ni
Yes.
Pinoy, meron silang hashtag nasaan ang Pangulo, kay Duterte rin hashtag nasaan ang Pangulo. But this time, I think that hashtag doesn't work anymore. It's
ayaw
hashtag
yata nung may-ari ipagamit.
hashtag may presidente pa ba? Because we need a president.
We do?
Hindi, ito,
With that kind of caliber, do we really need that? My God.
Ipapaliwanag na natin, siyempre tabu yung children, ano? Yan ang pinaka-tabu dyan eh. Ngayon, yung word na Muslim, no? Yung word na Muslim, sensitive yan. Not because you're walking on eggshells around the Muslims, no? But because may history eh. Alam mo yon, may history ng conflict between Christians and Catholics. Catholics, sabihin na natin, mga Catholics and Muslims, centuries ito eh ng history ng
Yes.
patayan sa isa't isa, 'di ba, no? So kumbaga, when you mention things like that, hindi lang yung sinabi mo na yon or hindi lang yung moment na yon na sinabi mo, kumbaga hindi ko alam kung ano yung word sa Tagalog. Ang word kasi sa probinsya sa Iloilo, dalasa eh, no? Sinasagasaan yun. Sinasagasaan mo na yung all those centuries of, alam mo yon, hurt, emotions, alam mo yon. So that's why
Saka may mga Muslim tayo sa Pilipinas, Papi. Mayroon tayong mga kababayan na Muslim. I mean,
Kaya
if
nga.
that is...
I don't think an Israeli ambassador would even say what Loksin is saying.
Alam mo,
Na parang-
yung word na reckless, hindi na dito, applicable dito eh. There must be a
Unang-una-
worse word for that.
Yeah, unang-una, parang, Teddy, you're not even we're not even part of that conflict. Bakit invested ka? Parang,
Yeah.
parang, why are you, bakit mas invested ka pa kaysa sa mga Israeli or Palestinian na
Yeah.
you could write a tweet like that? You cannot even see, sino ba? You cannot even see Arab ambassadors tweeting something like that, Emirate Israeli children or whatever. Why are you injecting yourself into this topic? Yun ang ano ko na parang, someone asked me, hingi daw ng tulong kasi there's this, pwede ko ba sabihin to, wag na lang, mas malalaman kung sino. Some group somewhere in the south, it's a religious group, Emirate, gusto rin mag-release ng statement about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Ako naman sabi ko, unang-una, bakit kailangan mong pwede mo sabihin epal? Bakit kailangan mong umepal dun sa conflict na yon? It doesn't concern everyday Filipinos. They don't care, The number one concern of Filipinos right now is inflation. Epal ka lang. What for is your statement? It won't give anything. You cannot even give a solution. Anong statement ka? World peace. Kaya nga, it's better to shut up. Better, shut up, sabihin mo na ng sarili mo, yeah, what's going on there is horrible, but at the same time, you must have the humility to accept na, well, at the same time, wala rin man ako magiging ambag kung paano i-resolve yan, no? I might even make the conflict worse than it actually is, because hindi mo nga alam, you're not there, you cannot, una-una, even if you give a solution to the conflict, you wouldn't be able, if that solution failed, you will never experience the bad consequences of the solution that you're offering. So it's better to stay away from something
And shut the hell up.
Shut the hell up. So ang dami-daming issue ng bayan, yung issue ng hindi mo pera yan, the legalized corruption in Congress. You have the inflation.
And the knocking war on our doors.
You have the collective 81 collective IQ of Filipinos. Is that not enough national emergency for you? My God, for God's sake, do you realize what a collective IQ of 81 of your country would do to your country in the long term? And then makikiangkas-angkas ka sa Israeli-Palestinian because nasa uso
Epal lang.
Alam mo yan, di ba, yung sa France, yung Charlie Hebdo, lahat ng mga Pilipino, I am Charlie Hebdo.
Correct.
I don't know what Charlie Hebdo is. I don't even think that ever even read a Charlie Hebdo. Do you even speak French? My God.
Can they even pronounce the names of the people involved? I mean, can they even remember kung saan yung location? I mean, they don't
Ukraine.
know. Diba?
Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine flag now. Sino pa yung Ukraine flag sa kanila ngayon? It's just the same. You are performative activists. You are like really the woke in the United States. Kahit yung mga anti-woke. You are really like them.
Yeah. Pero hindi nga din yung statements na yun, hindi din yan ganyan ang statements ng mga woke. Alam mo yun? So kaya nga talagang ang solution talaga dyan, ang way out talaga, dementia. Tama si Sas. Dementia na lang talaga ano mo dyan.
I would rather believe that Ambassador Locsin is already experiencing early onset dementia than actually accept his reason that this is sarcasm. Because in order for you to write sarcasm, you need to have higher rational faculty. Kaya nga the sarcasm is effective, because it's a function of higher intelligence. Now, if this is the result, the higher intelligence of Teddy Boy Locsin, my God, we are
Yes, exactly. Kasi nag-double down pa siya eh. Okay na lang sana na, 'di ba? You know, you could have just shut up, binura mo na lang, and then, you know, live with it dahil may mga nakapag-screenshot ng mabilis. But, you know, to double down on yourself, sinabi mo pa na, binigyan mo pa ng ano.
On many levels, no? Wrong on many levels kasi ang daming mga tabu na pinagsama-sama niya, 'di ba? Minekos-mekos
Exactly.
niya. Yung minekos-mekos na yung mga tabu, 'di ba? Kasi for example, itong Israeli at Palestinian. Alam naman ng lahat ito, this is a very long history of violence. Daming namatay both sides, no? Kaya nga ako, yung mga post ko nga dyan, pinapantay ko lang kasi the violence is not concentrated on one side alone. Diba?
That's true.
Ang nangyayari nga kasi, pag nag-start ng violence yung isang side, parang ang lumalabas, dinutuple, tinitriple nung kabila, itago natin sa pangalawa. Natin sabihin kung sino yung dumudoble, tumitriple. Pero isa dun sa dalawang parties na yan, talagang dinudoble, triple niya talaga yung sagot doon sa initial violence.
That's true.
Diba?
Because that's part of the military doctrine nung
Correct.
nung isa overwhelming response. Because to be fair naman din sa kanila, you know, they have to do that kasi nga nobody wanted them to exist. Parang, you know, they live in that kind of climate. To be fair sa kanila, no? Regardless of the historical reason, the historical background of how, you know, their community emerged in that region of the world. Kasi I've been to Israel, kaya nga sabi ko na, you know what, I understand, you know, the plight of the Palestinians, but I've also been to Israel. You know, I couldn't deny, you know, how the Israeli developed, the kind of development that the Israeli did to that land. And I can also see Palestinians living in Israel who are doing well, who have jobs, while at the same time, I cannot deny, you know, that okay, in one hand, meron kang ganito, pero on the other hand, you do have the kind of living of conditions in West Bank, in Gaza, you know, and how the Palestinian territories were actually divided into two, reduced to a strip and a spot in Jerusalem. So those are facts, no? On the Philippine side, it is a fact that a lot of our domestic helpers were embraced and doing well in Israeli. Welcome by Israeli in their homes and families. And it is also a fact that a significant portion of our Muslim community in Mindanao are sympathizing with the plight of the Palestinians because they consider this as an issue of historical justice. So those things are facts. So you need to consider all these facts and then come up with a statement that could balance this out. Kasi hindi naman, we cannot be all out against Palestinians. We cannot be all out pro-Israel. We cannot be all out because you know, those positions are untenable given our specific position, our specific condition as a country and the condition of our people. So ngayon, kaya nga, alam mo yon na parang nag-post ako niyan before, sabi ko, sana bago sila nag-release, kinonsult muna nila yung Muslim community natin. Because, you know, that actually would already show the mere act na kinoconsult mo sila, that already actually show na you're not gonna be a trigger-happy epal in international politics, no? And then that's also in preparation of the future development of this conflict. Just me, yun, nag-release ka ng one-sided na statement, meron pa pala about 200 Filipinos na nasa Gaza.
Correct.
Correct.
Hindi, tsaka walang
Well,
interest
actually,
ang
Sas,
Pilipinas.
go ahead, Paps. Go
Oo,
ahead.
walang interest ang Pilipinas kasi to side with one party against the other. Hindi tama yung sinasabi ni Sas, maraming mga Filipino OFW sa Israel, maganda yung buhay nila doon, no? Pero hindi pa rin siya enough reason para mag-side ka sa isang party over the other, precisely because wala naman sa national interest natin ang mag-side sa alinmang parties dyan, di ba, no? Ang national interest natin lies with peace in the region, no? So kung talagang alam mo diplomatic, alam mo yon, ganun ang ganun ang messaging dyan
Huwag maging miron.
Oo, di ba? Kasi tawag nito, ang wala kang wala ka, sure, okay, sure, may benefits tayo in terms of trade with Israel, no? In terms of yung mga OFWs natin, etc., no? Pero hindi siya enough para yung 100% mag-side ka sa
Na
Israel
bias.
against the Palestinians for reasons that Sas already hinted at earlier. Kasi may may Muslim solidarity ito Yun ang kailangan nilang maintindihan dito
Yes.
May Muslim solidarity dito. So pag inaway mo ang Palestinians, you're not just fighting the Palestinians, kung hindi, may Arab solidarity ito, may Muslim solidarity ito, and so on and so forth. Na wala talagang interest sa atin It does not benefit us to side with one party against the other. Now, hindi rin naman pagganda na pumabor tayo sa mga Palestinians na colonizer sa mga ang Israel, blah blah blah. Yan naman yung narrative naman din.
Yung activist statement. Yung activist statement.
Oo. Yung anti-Israeli statements din naman ng mga ganon. Hindi rin naman tayo dapat pumwesto doon, no? Yun ang kailangan nilang ma-realize dyan Kasi, people like me, ako, I'm an academic, I can say whatever the hell I want. Alam mo yon? But diplomats ka, alam mo yon, diplomat ka, government official ka, walang benepisyo ang gobyerno natin siding with either of the two. Alam mo yon, wala
Wala.
So that's make sense to me.
It's not our it's not our war. My God.
Correct.
Parang yan
Ang sa akin,
you think about what is our national interest in this situation. We have to remember, meron na tayong paghuhugutan, no? And that is the Angelo de la Cruz situation. Diba? Nakisali-sali tayo dun sa anti-Iraq invasion, nagpadala pa tayo ng force. Hindi tayo yung nagbomba doon, ha? Can you imagine, ha? Hindi tayo nagpasabog ng bomba, hindi tayo bumatay. So we were, of course, may mga OFWs ka dahil malaki talaga ang pera sa gera, no? Malaki ang bayad dyan pag magtatrabaho ka sa mga conflict zones So meron tayong OFW hinostage ng mga Iraqis. I don't want to call them insurgents because they're really fighting for the freedom, for their own freedoms against invaders.
Correct.
So they were held hostage. Kung hindi, pupugutan namin ng ulo si Angelo de la Cruz. Can you imagine the kind of your policy is meant for not for your people. So dapat titingnan mo yung it is kung gusto mong you need to understand that the danger isn't only what's in front of you.
Correct.
But what would happen after as well. Kaya nga hindi kasi ito naiisip ng mga Pilipino because we don't have a long sense of time. So like for example, para ito rin sa Arab-Israeli, yung Palestinian-Israel conflict, they will only see it yung ngayon, but they wouldn't see it in as long as possible in order to get a more balanced point of view, 'di ba? Na that's a simple napaka-simplistic ng mindset natin, very trigger happy. We want I don't know kung ito na yung kaugalian ng Pinoy, no? Mahilig tayong magpabida-bida whenever there is an international fund. I stand with Ukraine flag ngayon. Nobody, I don't think all those Filipinos that talked about Ukraine last year even follows what's going on now in Ukraine and realize that the Americans really get it up.
Alam mo, Sas, ito nga yung nabanggit ko. Oo, may nabanggit namin last week, Sas, ni Prof, na ang hilig ng yung utak ng mga Pilipino, yung parang basketball style, kailangan may kakampihan ka, meron kang team na pupustahan, ano. So yung ganun na medyo nakakalungkot. The thing is kasi Papi, ito yung sa akin. Ambassador ka. Your job is actually to, protect the interest of your people outside of the country. Yun nga, kaya nga ambassador ka, di ba? And yun din yung, instead of protecting, kahit na hindi directly sa kanya, hindi siya ambassador sa Israel, pero as an ambassador sa whole, you're supposed to, you are supposed to protect the interest of the Filipino people, kung sa labas na, yung hindi na yung government interest, hindi na yung national interest, kumbaga. Pero just think about those people na yung mga Pilipino, halimbawa may hired sa kanilang, halimbawa may OFW tayo na nagtatrabaho sa isang Palestino at nagsalita ng ganun itong isa. Medyo doon ako natatakot doon sa, kasi di ba, I don't know kasi
you know what, alam mo, Maricar, in international relations study, so you do have a regional study, sa international relations field. The Middle East situation is the most complex one. Like,
correct.
It's, yes, my lord, like, as in, it's the most unpredictable situation out there kasi ang dami diyang non-state actors.
Correct.
Owing to the history of the region itself. Ang key event, ito, I don't know if Prof. Van would agree with me, ang mga key events dyan, like for example, the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire, the development of the region didn't follow the same kind of development, like for example here in Asia or anywhere else, no? Mas the African situation nga is mas madali pa nga isolve dyan kaysa sa Middle East because of all this complexity. Meron pa, can you imagine, nag-dissolve yung empire mo and then the colonizers went there and then, it's one explosive mess. Kaya nga magkamali ka lang dyan, magkakaroon yan ng domino effect. Kaya nga kita mo, when they remove Saddam, what happened to the region?
Correct. I think the elephant in the room, ina-avoid natin yung elephant in the room. I think yung reason kaya naglabas ng ganyang statement, kahit na over the top, no? Siguro, ewan ko baka hindi niyo naman siguro sinadyang i-over the top. Pero I think may reason, may context bakit may ganong klase ng statement. Kasi,
thank you for opening that up.
Involved ang Israel at alam naman natin kung sino ang greatest supporter ng ng Israel. It's the United States.
Yes.
And the United States, actually, sinasabi ng United States, wala talagang strategic national interest ang United States sa may Middle East. Alam mo yon? Yung langis, yes, okay. So yung langis, importante yan sa United States. Pero not as important as, say, the 1960s or the 1970s. Kasi the United States is no longer a manufacturing, alam mo yun, it's no longer an industrial country, di ba?
Consumer
kumbaga,
na lang sila, yes.
sila dyan, no? Yung dependence nila, hindi na industrial eh. No, actually ang dependence na nga lang nila sa petroleum, more of consumer ano na lang eh. Alam mo yun?
Consumerism, yes, correct.
O consumption na lang talaga eh. Hindi katulad for example ng China or let's say India. Ang dependence nila sa ano eh, ang ano nila sa langis is more of industrial reasons pa. Okay? So, ang nangyayari, kaya nga lumalabas yung kampi-kampihan kasi ang nangyayari, and I think, ano ito eh, from the top going down, no? Very early kasi in the administration of Bongbong Marcos, pinosisyon niya na talaga yung sarili niya, di ba?
Exactly.
Sa statements niya
Yes.
kay President Joe Biden, di ba? Pinosisyon niya na yung talaga yung sarili niya as the American lucky. Sinulat ko na yan eh sa Manila Times column. Sabi ko, he's an American lucky, no? So, ewan ko, baka si Teddy Boy, I don't know, no? Baka somewhere along those lines din ang positioning niya. I don't really know what's happening with him, no? But the elephant in the room needs to be mentioned here, no? Marami sa mga
Yes.
positioning ng mga ano dito is because the United States is involved.
Actually, Papi, yan din yung ano, papunta doon sa topic lately ni Sas, tungkol dito sa nagaganap nga sa South China Sea, aka the West Philippine Sea, etong mga shoals natin, na ang posisyon ng marami na nagsasalita doon sa issue na yan, na nasa gobyerno, kung ano nila, ang favor nila is nasa Amerika.
Yeah.
Patubing
Tsaka
bayan.
ano nila, inuulit nila yung American position, hindi malinaw sa kanila, or American interest, hindi malinaw sa kanila kung ano ba talaga ang Philippine interest dito
Correct.
sa West Philippine Sea, dito sa Middle East, no? And elsewhere around the world, no? Hindi malinaw. Ang nangyayari, itong posisyon ng Amerika, let us all fall in line dahil ang presidente natin is an American lucky. Parang ganon ang
Correct. Correct.
Well, actually, malinaw naman yung issue, no? The issue is about fish and about hydrocarbons. My God, among all the conflicts that's going on all over the world right now, this is the easiest thing to solve. You know,
Correct.
parang the solution has been there. You know, I have talked to former cabinet officials, and then they told me that the solution was already there all along. Just oh my God, since 2008 pa. Anong petsa na 2023? And then, ang drama mo pa rin is magdadala ka ng maliit na boat na may media, magsusupply ka sa BRP Sierra Madre. Parang do Filipinos on the street even know where a Union Shoal is if you ask them to point it on the map?
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Exactly.
sure, no? I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 wouldn't know. Because it is a very, 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 very insignificant
Tiny.
spot.
Uh-huh.
Not even tiny, my God. It's microscopic
Yeah.
in the grander scheme
Correct,
of Philippine
correct.
territory. And then you are utilizing the diplomatic capital of the Philippines for that spot.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-mm.
I don't know what kind of, you know, I don't know what kind of calculation that you're doing in your national interest calculation in the order of hierarchy of this issue more than the development of the country. Dahil
Mm-mm.
for the development of your pocket, I understand bakit ito yung issue. But for the development of the country, my God, present to us an developmental economics, and then tell him to write a 3,000-word academic paper that Ayungin Shoal is actually relevant in the economic development of the country.
Oo nga. Kasi, di ba, I mean, pasensya na sasabihin ko talaga to ha. Isa sa mga kaibigan nating pare-pareho eh. Kagagaling lang ng Ilocos Norte at nagre-reklamo. Wala naman daw silang mahanap na ATM doon. I mean, that alone, I mean, on that situation alone. Sabing ganun, ano ba naman tong lugar na to? Masyadong remote, masyadong everything. Hindi mo alam kung saan ka pupunta para makahagilap ka ng pera. Because of course, when you're traveling, di ba, siyempre, lalo na doon sa lugar na yon, addict sa bagnet to. And yet, sabi niya, wala ako makitang access to most things that I need on a basic, on a basic day, that I need to get money. And kung yun hindi mo i-provide sa ano mo, baluarte mo, at ikakana mo ang security at ang interest ng buong Pilipinas, ng buong bansa sa isang speck of island na sinasabi, or it's not even an island,
I don't think so. I don't think na doon sa speck of island na ano, mas siguro, baka kasama nga siya doon sa 9 out of 10 na sinasabi ni Sas na hindi alam kung nasaan yung Ayungin. Napununan tuloy. Diba? But,
Pwede.
But, aware siya of the American position. No? Tapos, kasi alam mo, you have to understand what kind of a politician our president is, di ba? Yung president natin ngayon is not a hands-on type of president. Alam mo yon? But President Duterte was also not hands-on. Pero President Duterte was able to surround himself with not only with people that he trusted, but with people, with people who knew what they were doing, di ba, no?
Yes, with clear nostrils.
Ito lang yung task.
Sige, Sas. Ayan. Pero itong presidente natin kasi ngayon, ano siya, gusto niyang gawing simple ang maraming bagay. Because I think he doesn't really want to spend too much time talking about complex matters of governance and things like that. Tawa ng tawa si Sa, so mukhang I'm hitting the nail on the head, no?
Yeah.
Hindi niya gusto yung complicated na mga matters na to. So ngayon, ang diplomacy, which is alam mo, si Sas and I and people who studied international relations, alam mo, napaka-komplikado ng ano na ito. No? Napaka-komplikado kasi there are so many moving parts. Binanggit na kanina ni Sasyon, mga moving parts. You have to talk about the economy, you have to talk about the religion, you have to talk about lahat ng ano, alam mo yun. Saan yung interest natin dyan?
Hindi, ganito. Hello?
Yes.
Narinig niyo ba ako? Okay. Kasi ganito yan, no?
Sige, Sas. Continue. Sige.
I will just share, no, of what kind of president, I don't know if it's the president or any decision makers that we have, okay? This is a real story about Blair, okay? You know Blair, no? The former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Tony Blair. So this was on the road of the invasion of Iraq. So there were people who went to Tony Blair, like intelligent people, and then they were evaluating the situation for him, like, you have to be very careful here because this. As in, it's an evaluation of everything, okay? Complex interplay of different actors, etc. That this is not as easy as going from A to B. Yeah. And Tony Blair responded, but Saddam is evil. And that produced the position of the United Kingdom. And then after a decade, Tony Blair apologized to the nation for bringing the United Kingdom to a war that didn't find weapons of mass destruction, at the same time killing at least 100,000 Iraqis in the first few years, and then displacing
Yes.
millions and ruining basically a country.
Destroying the entire
So-
country, actually, yes.
So this is akin to that, no? Na yung nangyayari ngayon. You know, they
Explain
don't
mo
like
kung bakit na sinabing evil. Kanino siya nag-echo?
sa United States, 'di ba? So
Exactly.
ganun lang naman 'yan, 'di ba? O ngayon, actually I don't know, no, maybe this is like the cocaine, you know, because cocaine use in United Kingdom is very very high. In the United Kingdom, it's
Huwag ka
really
mag-
very high.
maingay. Diyan nag-aaral si ano. Yung
Hindi, it's
kilala
very-
natin
it's very-
na nawawala.
No, it's very very high in the United Kingdom. That's why when
It's
you
true,
examine the sewage water, there's so much cocaine in the pee of British people. Ganun kalala. So
True.
anyway, that's fact. Wala kang sinasabi, ha? Ikaw talaga, Tenta.
Pagbigyan mo
It's
na
true,
kasi
it's
siya,
true.
pagbigyan mo na kasi that is an empire built on drugs.
Lala. Oh, so ngayon, they don't want to evaluate. And in our China policy, it's the same thing.
Oo.
My Lord, 2006 pa ako nag-explain a complex ethos. And then, ang ending, but China is evil. China
Correct.
is creeping invasion. So now, we do have,
Correct.
in the United Kingdom, you have one Tony Blair. In the Philippines, my Lord, our Tony Blair is like almost every decision maker in our country is a Tony Blair. So, I just hope hindi dumating yung panahon na wala na kayong makain, no? Dahil or wala na kayong gas or oil dahil kung lumala yung Israeli-Palestinian conflict, maulit yung 1973 oil crisis.
Correct.
Remember, hindi tayo kasama sa conflict. Ang kasama nun is Netherlands and the United States. Nag-oil embargo ang Arab countries against Netherlands and United States. Anong ending natin?
Kamay tayo.
Hindi pa sapat yung bigas sa inyo, ha, na wala kayong makuhang ha. Gusto
Correct.
pa nilang patungan pa ng problema after one another. Gustong-gusto nila yung mga enjoy na sila yung mga pasiklab na nagpapamigay ng mga salapi sa mga mahirap. This is like old politics, 1950s politics and papamigod ng pera.
Correct. It's true. Yeah. So, yes, Prof, you were saying, naghangi yata si Prof or masyado
Pero
siyang
nangyari kay
natural
Prof.
sa sinabi mo. Hindi,
ayun na nga.
nangyayari yan lagi sa kanya. But ngayon kasi, 'di ba, katulad nga itong topic ng balik na naman again and again, paulit-ulit na lang. Etong nawisikan ka lang ng tubig, tapos nagwawala ka, nag-iiyak ka and everything. It's just, and this time may collision, 'di ba? May collision. Tama ba
Wala
yung
namang collision.
gesture?
Wala namang collision, Diyos me, Lord.
Parang ko nga, ayan, naka-air coat po ako sa mga hindi nakakakita sa akin. Ako ay nag-air coat ng kamay ko dahil apparently may collision at pinapalobo nila ito.
Hindi.
Oo.
Ano ba, ang dami-dami nilang gustong palabasin, no? And etros. My God, Ayungin Shoal it wouldn't even feed Bohol or ano bang smallest city sa atin. It wouldn't even feed what? I don't know, the poorest province. And then a lot of politicians say, let's construct something in WPS. Congressman. And then if you look at their, yung mga distrito nila, mas mahirap pa talaga yung mga tao.
Correct.
I'm concerned about a shoal. The problem with these people, besides that they're thinking through their pockets, no? Besides that they're thinking through their pockets and somewhere inside their pocket, narinig ba ako?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So besides that, no, they're thinking that they can resolve the problem in their lifetime. No, you can't. You know, you
Nope.
cannot resolve it. That's why
Yeah.
what you do is you enrich yourself, no? Magpayaman ka. Because ito yung mga pinagsasabi nila, hey, dari na credible defense posture, etc. You cannot have credible defense posture if you are economically insignificant in the world.
Correct. Correct.
One comes after the other. Hindi yung
Correct.
they wouldn't care that you have credible defense posture if you have poor economy, except if you're North Korea, no? Except if you're North Korea. But the thing
Correct.
is, nakakalimutan na nila yung primary problem ng mga Pilipino at ng Pilipinas. A primary problem is we have a very, very poor economic development na hindi na natin alam kung saan tayong patungo.
Sure.
Kasi nga, hindi na natin alam yung formula ng economic development natin dahil nag-iba na tayo dun sa traditional na manufacturing, develop your manufacturing, and then after manufacturing, saka ka lang pupunta dun sa services. Tayo,
Which could actually worsen because of all these things na nangyayari right now.
Yes, ngayon nag-jump tayo kagad sa services. But the services is not as solid as manufacturing. If you have a poor pag poor ang manufacturing mo, you don't have a credible defense posture. It is because you cannot fight a war. Because you need manufacturing in order to fight. Parang, iniisip ko, ano pa to? They know basic military science that you need manufacturing in order to be able to fight a war dahil kailangan mong immobilize yung manufacturing sector mo pag merong war in order to produce everything that you need for a war, from bullets to tanks to shields to everything. You don't have that. That's why you don't have credible defense posture.
Correct.
As simple as that.
Yeah, tsaka ang military spending natin is a function of our GNP. Alam mo yun, I wrote an article about that, no? For about 20 or so years, nasa around 1% lang ang talaga ng Pilipinas. Doesn't matter kung sinong presidente, Gloria Arroyo, Noynoy Aquino, Rodrigo Duterte, lahat sila nasa ganung range yung spending, no? Which means, to the point of SAS, pag hindi lumalaki yung economy, hindi rin lalaki yung defense spending mo. Kasi defense spending natin is a percentage of our GDP. Now, tapos dadagdagan ko pa yung kay SAS, kasi siyempre sasabihin nila ngayon, no? Like last year, 7% daw yung growth, no? But katulad ito nung panahon ni Noynoy Aquino, paper growth siya eh. Paper growth.
Correct.
Nasa stock markets, nasa mga ganon. So hindi yan yung klase ng growth na kumbaga parang pwede mong withdrawin sa bangko yung pera. Hindi siya
Hindi tangible. Oo.
Hindi lang siya tangible, no, Prof. Van. They have to look at Russia right now. Bakit, despite all these sanctions, the Russian economy didn't collapse? Because the GDP of Russia, a huge part of it, is from manufacturing. They don't care. You know, yung GDP mo is not from manufacturing, no? It's really from services or whatever na ang dali-dali mong mapipilayan dyan. So, yung sinasabi nilang
yan, it didn't mean na lumaki yung ekonomiya mo because your manufacturing power expanded. Everything boils down to manufacturing. If you have poor manufacturing power, you are irrelevant in the world.
Yeah.
Correct.
Kasi kailangan yung economy needs to stand on firm ground, tangible, no? Hindi yung kaya nag-grow yung economy is because of the financial and other services, no? Kasi yun, ang mga paper growth nga ang tawag nila dyan eh.
Yes.
Yan yung klase ng growth na hindi nararamdaman ng tao sa ibaba. Kasi that's not creating jobs, that's not, alam mo yun, hindi nagpapaikot ng pera yan eh, no? Ang nangyayari lang, no? Gusto lang nila kasi mangyari na pag tinignan yung financial natin, yung ating books, maganda
lang ang
solid
paper.
para magkaroon tayo ng mataas na credit rating, Tapos yun yung ano
It
nila
doesn't
para
have to be
mag-invest
true. It
ng
just has
mga
to look like it.
para mag-invest ng mga foreign investors sa Pilipinas. Pero hindi rin,
Correct,
yung
correct.
even yung investment ng foreign investors sa bansa, hindi pa rin sa manufacturing na pupunta. Doon pa rin lang.
Correct, correct.
Bangko,
Hindi.
sa
Exactly.
May
mga
tawag,
insurance.
may tawag
So
dyan.
wala.
May tawag dyan. Ang tawag dyan ay hot money. Kaya pag titingnan nyo yung ng flow ng investment sa atin, ng foreign direct investment, may makikita kang period na mas malaki yung outflow kaysa sa inflow. So ibig sabihin, ang daming inilalabas na pera. Na pera because these are hot money, yung sinasabi ni Prof Pan, yung mga ini-invest sa stock market, ini-invest sa mga equities, financial derivatives, non-productive investment because it doesn't actually improve your manufacturing sector. That is a simple, like look at your agriculture, no? Ito na nga lang, no? A country that has not mastered its agriculture will never win any war. As simple as that. Ask Prof Man. Alam niya to, no? This is all related.
China.
Tsaka sumulat din ako ng isang column tungkol sa natin sa inflation. Ang inflation natin, the number one reason for our inflation recently is food prices, agricultural sector. So, big sabihin, yun ang kailangan So, kumbaga kung okay, sige, wala tayong manufacturing kasi wala na talaga, no? Kung matibay yung ating agricultural sector, the economy will have something to stand on, no? Tapos pag yan ang nag-grow, pwede na ngayon tayo magpalaki ng gastos for our credible defense posture na ganyan, no? Final words ko daw.
Ganito, no? People think that everything needs to be resolved right now. No.
Yeah.
It's possible that you can have everything, but not at the same time. So, halimbawa, yung Spratlys na yan, yung WPS na yan, gusto mo, sa'yo lang yan, wala ang China, walang ano. At this moment, hindi mo ma-achieve yan. Okay? Maybe in the future, pwede mong ma-achieve yan. Ngayon, gagawa ka ng paraan para makatungo ko dun sa future na yan. Anong gagawin mo? You will become an economic powerhouse. And then, because if you become an economic powerhouse, you will become a military powerhouse. Now, because you do have those two, you can now make China, accept your unilateral demands. That's how you do it. Might not happen in your life. It will never happen in your lifetime. But maybe you can write right now, no, if you're very eloquent, and then someone in the future generation could be inspired to actually to actually kick China there when we're already rich. Like for example, Crimea. Russia waited how many decades?
That's true.
Diba? In order to take Crimea. Why do you need to hurry up? Wala
Si President Ybiernas ang mag-lead sa atin dyan in the future.
Sino?
President Ybiernas.
Ayan, maybe your grandchildren, no, write a very eloquent, passionate that, nakatulad yung ginawa ni Putin na, Crimea is the heart of Russian civilization. Ganyan-ganyan, gawin mo rin yun. Na Ayungin Shoal is the heart of the Philippine civilization. Para when you're already economically, you're an economic powerhouse.
Mr. President, where is Ayungin Shoal in the map?
Diba?
Alas 8 na. Wala. Ubus na yung oras natin. It's still juicy and come on, we still have a lot of, we have to really come back for this. Kailangan natin balikan to dahil ongoing to. Katulad nga, matagal pa. Marami pa tayong advice ng mga tao tungkol sa issue na to. At hindi to mariresolve bukas. Oo. Kaya marami pa tayong oras pag-usapan. Marami pa tayong oras pag-usapan ito. Sa ngalan po ng lahat ng aming mga kasama sa Pugad Vloggers, this is Sas, Prof. Van, and Tentay Mahalay saying good night.
Pugad Vloggers, Pugad Vloggers. Ang kurap titirisin, salot sa bayan wawalisin, walang sasantuhin. Ang saya-saya, nakakabaliw, kasama natin ang tropang Pugad Vloggers.